Hey guys, so I'm going on a backpacking trip in Southern Virginia in just a couple of weeks, and I just wanted to walk through everything that I'm going to bring. I wanted to show you all of my gear from my clothes to my food to my first aid kit, shelter, water gathering stuff, and everything. So first up, starting with the clothes. So I've gone through so many different shoes for hiking. I've tried like the Ultras and the Hokas and the trail running shoes. Ultimately, they just didn't really work out for me that well. I found that they didn't provide a lot of support, and then they also just wore out really quickly. So I got a pair of Merrell Moab 3s. I love these shoes. They're a little bit heavier than the trail runners, but I think that they're extremely durable and they're very, very, very comfortable. I'm also going to be bringing my hat and my sunglasses. I'm bringing the pretty standard set of clothing. I've got a couple of t-shirts. I actually got these at Costco. This is the special fabric. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's like this sort of a synthetic blend. Does really well with keeping moisture away. So I've got two t-shirts. I'm also carrying a bandana. This is good for like wiping sweat away. Occasionally, if it's really sunny, I'll even put it like around my head and put my hat on top of it to keep the sun off me. I've got the Dirty Girl gaiters. I love these things. They're really expensive. I think I paid like $20 for them, but I've used them on almost every AT trip that I've been on. These things are great for keeping out little pebbles and debris and dirt from your socks. I've got two pairs of boxers that I bring. These are also the kind of synthetic material. And I only bring two pairs of socks. And normally I usually just end up wearing one pair the entire time. But it is nice to have another pair just in case one gets soaked or if you want to, change into a fresh pair at night to have while you're in your tent. Even though I'm going to be going in August, it's probably going to be could be cooler at night. So I'm going to bring a beanie just to have at night, just in case it gets a little cool. And likewise, I'm also going to bring my puffy. So my puffy jacket, this is a down puffy jacket. It is going to be warm when I'm going. However, if I don't use this, wearing it around camp, I can also use this for my pillow, which I'll show you my pillow setup here shortly. And then I'm going to be hiking with just regular shorts. So these are a pair of Columbia shorts. I like to kind of have the cargo pockets on the side just because I can like throw my sunglasses in there or any other things I want to carry. So moving on to the shelter. So for my shelter, I'm using the Durston X-Mid 1P. And I really like this tent. So I have to bring my trekking poles. This is a trekking pole tent. But this tent is extremely lightweight. It's extremely weatherproof. I've had it in winds, rain, you name it, cold weather, warm weather, and it just performs really well. It's easy to set up. I can get this thing popped up in just like a few minutes. So along with shelter, I've got my REI Magna 30 quilts. This thing is also really nice. I got this on a 4th of July sale on REI's website, I think a couple of years ago. But check out how small it is. And I think it's 1.4 or 1 pound, 4 ounces. This thing is just super small. It's also great for summer months because it's not like overkill and it's not going to be too warm at night, but you're also not going to be cool. For sleeping pad, I have my Nemo, and this is the Nemo Tensor. This one gets a lot of different reviews. Some people say that it's not durable enough and that it'll only last 10 trips. I think I've had mine out about that long. I haven't had any problems at all with it. One bit of warning is it is extremely loud. It's crinkly, and every time I move around, I do move around a lot in my sleep, and every time I move around, I feel like I'm bothering those who are camping near me. Okay, so I've also got my homemade pillow. So this is what's called a envelope style pillow. You can find instructions on how to sew this yourself. I just sewed it on my home machine, but you can see it has an opening here, and then you take all of the stuff that you're not wearing, like, there's that extra pair of socks, the puffy jacket, and you stuff it in here. I've also put like my rain jacket in here, my pack cover, and this will serve as a great pillow. It's actually more comfortable than any other pillow that I've tried. The other thing that I use for my shelter, I have a piece of Tyvek. I think this is probably like 2 feet by 2 feet. And I put this at the top of my pack because when I get to camp, I lay this thing out on the ground first, and then I start to unpack my pack and pack everything on here, lay it out so I can kind of, so things don't have to sit on directly on the ground, and I can organize things, set up the tent, and then transfer things from here into the tent. Moving on to water. So I start all of my AT hikes with just 2 liters of water, and I use one of these smart water bottles like a lot of people do. I like these because they're really lightweight, but they're also durable. So with that, to collect water, I use the Sawyer Squeeze. I don't use the Sawyer Squeeze Mini because I've heard too many bad reviews about that one, about how it takes forever to filter water. I use the regular Sawyer Squeeze. The great thing about these is you can get them at Walmart. They tend to last a long time. I've had this one for a very long time, and I haven't had any issues with it, and I haven't gotten sick. My water collection bags. The first one is I've got the CNOC Vecto 2 liter. This one is amazing for scooping water, just by doing like that. And if you've also seen my other video, you can use it as a backcountry shower. I'll put that video up here. For my clean water bag, I use a Platypus 2 liter. This is nice because when it is inflated, it has like a opening on the bottom to where you can set it down, and it stands up really nicely. So this is my rain gear here. Now, maybe you can help me with this, but I'm having a big debate with this trip. So the debate is I'm currently taking my rain jacket, which is a Outdoor Research Helium. And this is a really nice rain jacket. It definitely keeps the rain off. However, because it's probably going to be hot and humid in Southern Virginia in August, so I'm thinking about ditching the rain jacket and bringing a poncho. So maybe for those of you with experience in Southern Virginia, why don't you leave a comment below. Let me know your opinion. Should I bring the rain jacket or should I bring the poncho? I'm kind of on the fence right now, but I'm leaning poncho. I've also got in my rain kit a rain skirt. So this is made by a company called Bluefield. You can get it on Amazon. This thing looks ridiculous on you, but it is actually really handy and cool. And this wraps around your body just like a skirt, and there's a clip. And this really keeps my lower body pretty dry. And there's also like a nice slit here that keeps it, open so I can flex my legs pretty well. So the other thing that I have is just a standard pack cover. I'm a big fan of pack covers when I use my rain jacket. So again, the jury's out on whether I bring the poncho or not. Also, I have a Nylocube bag, but it's just a big bag that you can use as a pack liner. And you just put it in your pack and load it up with all of your stuff, especially your essentials if you can't get wet, like your sleeping bag, your clothes, and your electronics. So I have a pretty simple electronics kit. I have here a Black Diamond headlamp. I'm not sure exactly what model this is. Actually, it says right here it's the Astro. This is the most basic model, and I was actually looking at upgrading my headlamp, but this one for me does the trick. I'm also bringing a small ThermoWorks thermometer. This is kind of a luxury item, but it's really nice to have on the back of my pack, and then I can check in during the day when I'm hiking, see how warm it is. And then for my power supply, I use a big battery. This is by Inui. It's INIU. I got it on Amazon. This is a 20,000 milliamp power pack. Okay, so next up is my ditty bag. So this is where I keep all of my toiletries and stuff. So just a couple of things to point out. I like to bring the Deuce trowel, and this is good for digging cat holes when you're away from a shelter area and there's no privy. I also bring with me, like keep in my tent at night, one of these little Sawyer squeeze bags. It comes with the filter when you buy it, and it's labeled bathroom on the top. So this one can be a bit of a tricky act, but this stays in the tent just in case I need to use the bathroom in the middle of the night. I've also got, all the regular toiletries like my hand sanitizer, my toilet paper, toothbrush and toothpaste. I've got a thing of Tylenol, and I've got some Q-tips that I break in half. I've got some earplugs just in case. Sometimes, you're camping next to someone that's snoring, or there's like a, road nearby that you can hear. Some eye drops, some flossers. My wife turned me onto these. These are Neutrogena Makeup Remover Ultra Soft Cleansing Towelettes. So I bring a few of these because these are almost like taking a shower, really. Because at night and in the morning, just to freshen up and to be able to wipe your face down with these things. I know it's a luxury, but it's really nice. Okay, so next up, I've got my emergency first aid kit. Couple of things that I carry is some sunscreen, especially in Southern Virginia. There's some stretches where you're walking through pastures and stuff, and to have some sunscreen is really good for your skin. Some bug spray. So I got one of these at CVS. This is just Deep 100. So for the first aid kit, it's pretty standard. I've got, some bandages. I've got a little tourniquet, some Aquaphor. I've got a thing of hydrocortisone, and I just emptied this out from the packaging that it came in, and I put it in a little tiny Ziploc bag. I have a tiny thing of Lyco tape, and then a very small thing of lip balm. These can be real lifesavers, especially if you get a blister on the trail. A couple other things that I keep in here are some like antihistamine medication, and also just some cash. This is normally where I keep my cash. You never know if you're on the trail and you need to buy something somewhere and they don't accept cards. It's nice to have a few dollars. So now on to my kind of like emergency drawer. So I have some zip ties. These are great if you have a gear failure. They weigh nothing. I carry like 5 or 6 of them. I have a repair patch kit for my mattress, my air mattress. I carry a whistle. This can be good if you are injured or something and no one can see you off of the trail, just to make some attention. Also, if you see a bear or wildlife, this can be good for scaring off bears. So I carry that with me, very lightweight. I have a little bit of extra cord. I think this is only maybe like 5 or 10 feet of extra cord. And then a couple tiny pieces of Velcro. I bring with me iodine tablets as a backup for my water filter. 3 extra batteries for my headlamp. Probably overkill, especially in the summer, because there's not that much darkness in the summer anyway. And I have a couple of clothespins here to repair gear if needed. And then lastly, my Swiss Army knife. This is just one of the very small Swiss Army knives. One of the best things about this is the scissors. They actually work pretty good. So for my food, I have all of my food inside of this bag. This Dyneema bag is made from Hilltop Packs, and this thing is awesome. I really love it. I love Dyneema. Denim is cool, but it looks so cheap, but it's so strong, waterproof, and just really nice all around. Really happy with this purchase of this bag. I have I'm going to do a separate video that breaks down all of my food, so I'll be publishing that in the coming weeks. Additionally, with my food bag is paired with my bear bag kit. So I have, I also got this from Hilltop Packs, and I think this has maybe like 50 feet, maybe 40 feet of line for hanging the bear bag. It has one of these micro carabiners, and these things I've never had a problem with. These have always held my food, and also sometimes my my buddy's food bag as well. I use a tent stake instead of a stick for the toggle, so I hang my bear bag PCT style, and instead of just sticking a stick in there and pulling it out and getting abrasion on the cord, I use one of these tent stakes. And then if I had to use one of these tent stakes, if it was a really windy night from my tent, I could, and then I would just use a regular stick for my bear bag. I'd have my stove kit. So in my stove kit, I made a little Dyneema bag for it on my sewing machine, and I have my backpacking stove. This is, if you remember from my stove hacks video, this stove was like $12 on Amazon. Awesome stove. Never had a problem with it. It even has electronic ignition. Would highly recommend this stove, especially if you're just starting out. So also I keep a lighter. Even though I have electronic ignition, I like to have backup systems. So I do have a regular lighter. This is also good if I'm starting a campfire. And then I have my my fuel. So I refilled this with my refill adapter. Again, check out my stove hacks video, which I'll link right here. And all of this goes into my titanium pot. This is a Lixada, Lixada, titanium 750 milliliter pot. Found this on Amazon, but I like it because it fits my fuel really well. Don't forget to put some tape here at the bottom, electrical tape, so it doesn't scratch the bottom of the pot. I'll put that in there. And then everything else fits in nicely. Also, from my stove hacks video, I bring a little Esbit style fuel cube. These are awesome in case your stove breaks down for whatever reason. I can probably get 1 or 2 boils out of this, so I always just stuff this here as well. Okay, so that's my food. Also, can't forget the titanium spoon. Funny story about this titanium spoon. Out of all this gear here, since I started backpacking, I think I've switched out every single piece of gear except for the titanium spoon. So get a good titanium spoon, get a long handle so it can reach down into those dehydrated food bags, and hold on to it, because this will be probably the one piece of gear that goes with me on the entire Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine over so many years of section hiking. So my luxuries. I am a licensed amateur radio operator, and I always bring with me a 2-meter radio. This is a Baofeng radio, for those of you who are familiar with radio stuff. I like to get on top of summits and then see how far I can connect with other amateur radio operators. There's also a lot of repeaters in the areas, in the mountains, so I'll get on and connect with different repeaters and talk to people, sometimes very far away, while laying in my hammock or, sitting in my tent. My other luxury, love it or hate it, is the chair. So I have the REI chair, but this chair is just around 1 pound. I ditched the carrying case and I sewed a Dyneema one, and this thing is really nice. The only time it can be a pain is when the ground is really soft, and you're trying to, lean back and it sinks into the ground. That is a huge pain. And then the last luxury that I bring, I'm sure a lot of you guys bring this, is just a regular sit pad. It's also multi-purpose. It's not only just a sit pad, but you can use it as a stove windscreen. You can also use it at the entrance of your tent. And when you have to kneel down and get your knees on the ground, it's nice to have this to kind of kneel down before getting into your tent. So this is almost not even a luxury item. It's almost a necessity. And then lastly, I've got my Lecky poles. So I just got these a couple of trips ago, and I really like these. They're lightweight, and it has a really interesting kind of cork, plasticky composite material that's comfortable, but also doesn't give me at least blisters or anything like that on my hands. So really nice poles. All right, so that's my gear. That's what I'm going to bring in August as kind of a summer kit. I'm going to put all this stuff in my pack. I'm going to weigh it, and then I'm going to show you guys exactly how much everything weighs together. Okay, now for the moment of truth. Let's see how much it weighs. $23.3 pounds. Not bad. Fully loaded with water and food, ready to go. It's 23.3 pounds. I'm not 100% ultralight, but I'm super happy with that, and that's a load that I can carry, and it also balances my needs with my luxuries. So I'm happy. That's been my gear setup. So hopefully this is helpful for some of you, and let me know what you think in the comments.